Hey, 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 pups. We're reading chapter 9 of our book, Jake Drake Know It All. Chapter 9 Sticking Together. After I talked with Willie on Thursday afternoon, I felt like quitting the science fair. I really did. I didn't talk to anyone on the bus after school. When I got home, I went right to my room. Books and papers were spread all over the top of my desk. I had big batteries and spools of wire and giant nails spread around on the floor. I had markers and poster board sticking out from under my bed. The more I looked at all that stuff and the more I thought about Willie, the madder I got. And right then, I knew I couldn't quit. I just couldn't. I couldn't let Kevin and Marcia push everyone out of the way. Then I got an idea. I looked around on my desk until I found the science fair booklet. Then I read the rules again, and for the first time in 3 or 4 hours, I smiled. On Friday morning, I had my dad drive me to school. That way, I got there about 10 minutes before the buses. I didn't talk much in the car. When we got almost there, Dad said, "So, how's the science fair coming? It's next week, right?" I shook my head. "No, it's the week after. And I guess it's okay. Anything I can do to help? I've never made electromagnets before, but I think I understand how they work." I smiled and said, "Thanks, but I'm supposed to do the work myself. It says that in the rules." We pulled up at the front doors of the school. Dad said, "I'm sure you're doing a terrific job, but maybe I could at least look things over." I said, "Sure, that'd be good." Dad leaned over and gave me a kiss on the cheek. "Have a great day, Jake." I went into the office and asked Mrs. Drinkwater for permission to go to my class to my room before the first bell. Mrs. Drinkwater is the school secretary. She's a good person to know. Even though Mrs. Carp is the principal, I think Mrs. Drinkwater runs my school most of the time. Because if you want to find out anything, you talk to Mrs. Drinkwater. Unless you're in trouble, then you talk to Mrs. Carp. When I got to my room, Mrs. Snaven was sitting at her desk using a calculator. I guess my shoes were too quiet because when I said "Mrs. Snaven," she jumped about a foot and let out a little squeal. "Ooh, it's you, Jake. That gave me a fright." I said, "Sorry, Mrs. Snaven, but I have to talk with you. You know Willie, my friend in Mrs. Frule's class? I want to be partners with him for the science fair." Mrs. Snaven frowned. "The fair is a week after next. I think it's a little late to be choosing up partners." I reached into my backpack and pulled out the science fair booklet. I said, "It doesn't say anywhere in here that you have to pick partners by a special time. It just says you have to sign up on time, and it says you can work by yourself or with one partner. And Willie and I both signed up before Christmas." Mrs. Snaven was still frowning. "Why has it taken this long to decide you want to work together?" I said, "That's my fault. Willie wanted to be partners right at the start, but I said no. But now I want to. So will it be okay?" Mrs. Snaven took a deep breath and let it out slowly. She was looking through my booklet. "Well, it doesn't seem to be against the rules, so it'll be all right. I'll get the master list from the office and change it later today." I said, "Thanks, Mrs. Snaven." Then I went back to the side door and waited for the buses. Willie was on bus 4, but it was a while before he got off. "Hey, Willie, over here." He saw me and waved. He moved through the crowd of kids to where I was waiting. Hi, Jake. We walked into the gym and I said, guess what? What? He said, I've got a new partner for the science fair. Willie looked at me and squinted. What do you mean? Who? I grinned. You. You're back in the science fair. You're my partner. Willie said, no way. And I said, way. I talked to Mrs. Snavin already, and it's not against the rules or anything. Willie smiled, this smile that almost covered his whole face. Then I smiled. Then the smile stopped, and he squinted again. But you said you wanted to work by yourself. I said, yeah, but now I don't. I wasn't having much fun either. The first bell rang, and everyone began to move for the doors. I said, tell you what, get a pass to go to the library for lunch recess, and we can talk about it, okay? Willie said, yeah, okay. See you in the library. And then he smiled his big smile again. It's a great smile. When you have a partner to work with, it's a good partner, everything is more fun. It just is. After Willie and I talked at the library, we decided to work on the magnets. He had been making a project about how different balls bounce. It's because Willie loves basketball and almost every sport. He's not very good at sports, but he still loves them. So he wanted to observe ping pong balls, golf balls, tennis balls, and basketballs bouncing. Then he wanted to guess why they bounced in different ways, and then try to prove it. It was kind of an interesting idea, but Willie hadn't done much with it. When I told him about the electromagnets, he got all excited. You mean a regular nail turns into a magnet? I said, yeah, only I've got two giant nails this big, this long, and you know at a junkyard, they have electromagnets on the end of a crane that can pick up a whole cars. And when they shut off the power, bam, the whole car falls to the ground. Then I told him about everything we had to do, and Willie got more and more excited. He said he would ask his mom if he could come over on Saturday. Then we could work all day on it. That'll be great. And there's one more thing, I said. I've been keeping the project a secret, especially from Kevin and Marcia. Willie nodded slowly and began to grin. Yeah, I like it. That means we know something that they don't know, right? See what I mean? How Willie got the idea right away? Me and Willie are like that. We're good partners. We laugh at the same kind of stuff, and when he needs help or I need help, we stick together like magnets. All right, guys, that was chapter 9. I will go ahead and post chapter 10 when appropriate.